If you haven't seen part 1 of this, or have not watched Hyouka in its entirety, get out. No, seriously, leave now. I don't care what it does to the stats for this video, just leave. I don't want to spoil Hyouka for anyone, ever. I'm serious. I'm going to be throwing spoilers left and right. This episode isn't going to stop at episode 3 like the others do. I'm going to talk about everything, including the ending of the 22nd and last episode. This is not a joke. I'm dead serious. Leave now if you don't want spoiled. Alright? Good. So in the final episode, Chitanda and Oreki... Okay, you better be gone by now. If you don't want spoilers, leave. You can't say I didn't try. I'm going to talk about the ending, but let's backtrack a bit. Episode 5 ends the original plot arc in this anime, and it shows some telling things about the characters. Firstly, Oreki is the only one that was able to figure out the pun behind the name Hyouka, even though Satoshi is better with raw information. Ibara was the last one of them to figure it out, and Chitanda had nothing. This is more important than you realize, as the librarian had decades to figure out the answer to this, and she simply didn't. Oreki figured it out, and rather than being blunt, he offered a hint. Why? Why not just say it? This shows 3 things about his personality pretty quickly. 1. Oreki doesn't want to show off. He's just not that type of guy. 2. The hint would theoretically be less work if everybody got it. And 3. Oreki knows that the others are feeling pretty dumb, having not gathered the other parts of the answer. He's just trying to throw them a bone. Once you see that, Oreki suddenly becomes a really nice guy. He spends far more energy than I think even he realizes, going out of his way to include his friends. Watch how many times he asks Satoshi about an aspect of the case. Then once he gets the answer, he just nods and doesn't question it. He isn't asking for information. He's confirming the information he already knows. He wants his friends in on the answer rather than just coming up with it himself. He gives Chitanda things to do that have little or no effect on the case. Ibara doesn't want him to tell her to do anything, so he simply doesn't. But that is just Oreki. Let's look at some of the others. Satoshi is the next obvious choice. You see him struggle against Oreki during the festival, trying to solve the mysteries behind Jumanji before Oreki does. Satoshi gets mad at Oreki when he finds the answers that Satoshi simply can't, and he seems like he's doing it so effortlessly. His character actually breaks at that point. His color literally drains out of him by the end of the festival. After that, Satoshi is much calmer as a person. He doesn't seem to try as hard, and he gets cowed fairly easily. If you don't believe me, rewatch the Valentine's Day episode when compared to episode 4 or 5. His colors are muted, and he isn't nearly as energetic. Even Chitanda changes. She calms down, but is more driven. It's less of a hoppy energy and more torque. Compare her Kirinarimasu from episode 1 with a very similar curiosity she has in episode 22. She's much more driven, and she has far less of this panicky craving kind of feeling. This change, I believe, is due to her getting the answers that she normally would have got from her uncle, but she's getting them from Oreki, as well as the realization that he can and has lied to her in the past. She now knows firsthand that life isn't so cut and dry anymore, and that bubble of happiness that she's been followed around by is dulled slightly. Ibara changes too. In episode 3 she's a Sunsun, but by episode 22 she's not even directly confrontational or hostile to Oreki, and is actually good friends with Chitanda. With the Manga Society arc you see where her passions lie, and just how hard she has to work even with people who like the same thing that she does. But the splash that she takes really reflects her heart. Go back and watch her line as she's trying to dry off, and think about those words in context with her managing her struggles not only with her relationships with Satoshi, but with the group as a whole. It has a much different connotation if you look at it that way. This is part of why I love this anime so much. The loss of innocence is subtle and isn't full of drama. It's very similar to real life. Something small alters your perception, and suddenly the world has less rainbows and just more rain. Or the passion that you once had drains a bit, watching somebody beat your best possible effort without breaking a sweat. To that last point, watch for how many times Oreki says, "I just got lucky," compared to how often he says it after he's done working on that movie. Or Satoshi's passion for random things after the festival. Ibara's love for manga. Chitanda's drive for the resolution to mysteries. Everyone is more focused, but considerably less passionate. Oreki seems to be the only exception. He's more driven and productive, but he's also far more confident. All in all, the reason I love this anime is because everyone in this anime is not only useful, but is a truly flushed out personality, and they don't all end up just being the main character's lackeys. Oreki is the main character, that goes without a doubt, but at no point are his friends simply the background to him being awesome. They are actually the only reason why he is as good as he is at what he does. The movie episodes prove that. He has to have someone there to clean up his theories, or he is simply wrong. They are all important, and they all make each other better. That is friendship. That is real life. That is why this anime is a timeless masterpiece.